Season definer for Bradford City. They take on Accrington on Saturday. They have 12 kick-off. Can we put a stamp down on League 2 and say we mean business? Is it a no excuses, no messing about type of game where we have to win? So make sure we're getting in that top 3 places next season. This season for League 1, not next season. We don't want to be in there next season. We need to get out of this place. What are your thoughts going into a game? Your score predictions, get them down in the comments down below. Like the video if you do go on to do so, and subscribe if you're new. Want to go to 900 subscribers. All the support is massively appreciated. There's no getting away from it. On Saturday, it's a huge game for Bradford City. I don't think it is a season definer. I think, I'm predicting a draw. I think it's a type of game that we do draw. Away from home, I think we've got 4 or 5 away wins all season, which is nowhere near good enough if you want to be getting out of this division, but our home form has been superb. However, we haven't been that bad away recently. Obviously, beat Carlisle in January, beat Bromley and Salford. Newport got a respectable draw down to 10 men, so we have improved, and then a fine margin sort of a defeat to Gillingham. So, this is a poor side in the context of the table in Accrington. I remember when we played them at Valley Parade a couple of months ago now. Graham Alexander said that the table sort of lies a bit with Accrington because he thinks they're better than where they are. But I had them to go down, and I think if Accrington stay up in League 2, it's a successful season. They're like that arrogance of the world. They're being run really well. John Holt gets his criticism, but because he's made of money. But I'm not going to complain with the allocation that we've been given, and hopefully we can make it like a home game. I think it's great that we can take so many teams over. We did it in Hull. We're going to do it again to Accrington. Unfortunately, Doncaster aren't going to allow it. But over the years, Accrington have had a good model of buy young and sell them on for a good profit. You've got Dion Charles who've been at Accrington, got Colby Bishop who at Accrington. They've had a number, so many young players who have come through, developed. It's been a good place to bed those players in, and they've gone on to have successful careers in the AFL. And obviously, they were a mid-table League 1 side for a short period under John Coleman, and it is John Coleman's club, and that's what he'll always be remembered for. But it was John Dolan's first game last year in March when we beat them at their place. I think it was 3-0. Tariq Wright scored a couple of goals and a really good performance. But in fairness to John Dolan, he's done a great job there as well. Looking certain to stay up this season, and a lot of youngsters in that team. There were last season, but there's a big rebuild going on at Accrington, and I think this could be another generation of young players who have come into a team and end up having good careers in the AFL. They don't play a terrible style of play either. That they have, I think, the 4th in the possession for lowest possession, so that they are quite happy to let the opposition have the ball, but when they get it, they're not exactly a hoofball team. They will go along, but they do want to play out, they want to try playing to the midfield, but that's why I think John Dolan's quite a good manager, because he knows he ain't got the players to do that. I think in 2-3 seasons time, if their players can develop and become more comfortable on the ball, and they have a better quality of player, that's what he'd want to do, but he's realised he ain't got that, so they go along and they scrap for seconds, and they've been very successful for that this season. That's why they're staying up, because I didn't think that were a team that was strong enough to, and there's some very good individual players coming through that I like the look of. Ben, what's his name? Ben Ward. I think he's going to be in League 1 in a couple of seasons. I think he's had a fantastic debut season at Accrington, coming from Burnley, quite comfortable and confident on the ball, but tackles, he loves his duels, his aerials as well, quite dominant in there. I watched him play Doncaster, and he did a fantastic job on Luke Mullen, who's for me the best player in the division. So if you can keep him quiet and have a really good game 1-to-1 with him, then you're good enough to play for anyone in League 2. So I really like the look of him, and I was quite impressed with him at Valley Parade as well. Ben Woods in midfield, keeps the ball quite well. I like his technique more than anything, but for a young midfielder, he's got good attributes to his game, and again I think he can go far. And at Valley Parade, I think he came close for a free kick, but just went wide of a post. So he's got a bit of quality that can punish us, but defensively he's solid as well in midfield for Accrington. And then Sean Wally single-handedly keeping them up this season, or at least giving them a huge gap, and has been the difference really. The team's down the bottom, and anywhere in the division, you look at the firepower, who can change a game, who can make the difference, and 37-year-old Sean Wally definitely does that for Accrington, and he has done for a few seasons now, and great career at Shrewsbury as well. But 37, he's still got a lot of pace down that wing, he's still got a great cross, still has an eye for goal, and he's got a lot of energy still to his game, so he's got a lot to offer, and he'll be a tricky customer for us if he plays on Saturday. I think he had an injury recently, so I don't know if he's back from that, but hopefully he isn't, because he will cause us problems. They've got a number of good players, young players coming through. They don't play a terrible style of football, so I'm hoping with them on 41 points, 10 points clear of Carlisle, they just have a bit of a beach performance where they look to next season. They might be a bit more expansive than they would have been 10 games ago, and there might be a bit more space to his exploit. But I must say as well, Ram Stadium, having a look at their pitch for the last few games as well, they've got a very nice pitch to play on, so hopefully we can get the ball down ourselves, and there won't be any unexpected bobbles, so it should make for quite a good game of football. Hopefully as well, being the half-12 kick-off, hopefully the sun's shining down. It is annoying that it's another half-12 kick-off, but at least it's not as far as Swindon and as last minute as Swindon were either. My team selection for the game on Saturday is Sam Walker in goal. Made a great save against Colchester in that 4-1 win, and if he didn't, it goes to 2-2, I think it would have been, and that they then could have got the momentum when the game changes like that. So I probably didn't give him as much credit as I probably should have in that match reaction for that save, because even at the time I thought Edwards put it wide of the post, but fingertips, unbelievable save that could have definitely changed our season, because if we didn't go on to win that, what would the momentum have been? Right now I'm really excited for this game. We're playing entertaining football, and I can't wait for the game to kick off. Don't really feel nervous, but I probably will a minute before kick off, and I'm sure a lot of fans are still feeling that same optimism, that same energy. There's something in the air right now, and it's a big dopamine rush. Brad Halliday keeps his place in right wing back. He's probably gone under a radar a bit this season. When you look at how good Lewis Richards were in that first half of the season, he were immense for us down that left side when he overtook right in the team. And then Teo Adramola's getting so much praise and credit, and rightly so, but Brad Halliday is still putting in 7-8 out of 10 performances. He did start the season poorly, but recently his energy, his commitment, his crossing, his positioning, taking players on, and defensively, he's back to that last season where you wouldn't fancy anyone to get past him 1v1. He's been an absolute rock for us over the last few seasons, but right now he's still at a great level where he just isn't really getting that level of appreciation, because last season when the games were low, he was a standout because he were putting 110% in, and you could see the standout desire that he showed, whereas now everyone's putting in that same work ethic, but he's still got that quality at the end of it, going upwards and backwards, but because of the standout performers across the pitch, he ain't getting that same appreciation, but he definitely does deserve it. Right centre back, I've kept Neil Byrne in there. Maybe Aidan Baldwin probably should be there for the crossing ability. If, when we create those overloads, is Neil Byrne comfortable on the ball enough in a game like this? This was my concern with him against Tranmere, but I think it'd been massively unfair to drop him after that performance against Colchester. Yes, it keeps getting thrown at him that he were at fault for the disaster class that led to Edwards being through on goal, and like I said earlier, that could have changed the game and the season for us, but he was so good 1v1 up against Edwards. Didn't give him a minute to breathe, kept forcing him back the other way. I don't think he beat him 1v1, Edwards, and he's a top winger. So in the middle, Aidan Baldwin keeps his place there. He's been phenomenal these last few months for us. I went back and watched my reaction for the signing of Aidan Baldwin from Notts County, because someone commented. Hello. Yes, I do feel my thoughts on him now are completely different. I mean, to be fair, I was quite central, but slightly to the side of I'm not convinced. But he started the season well, got his injury, came back, had a few shaky games, but his passing range, his defending ability 1v1, he's got good pace for cover as well. He's been a real standout for us this season. Left side, I've got Critchlow. I was really impressed with his link up with Teo and Tariq Wright on that left hand side. Didn't have a lot to do defensively, but when he did, he made it all, and again deserves to keep his place. Teo Adramola, left wing back. He's been outstanding for us, beating players, getting his crosses into good areas, and definitely looking like a fantastic addition in January for us down at left side. Makes us a real threat consistently with his running power, and Tariq Wright gets in there as well to complete that triple sort of chemistry link between them, because I was so impressed with all three of them. That they've got to deserve to keep the place. I think Tariq Wright, that was his best performance in the Bradford City shirt. Really impressed with him defensively as well. He put in a great block in the first half, and going forward got real pace, took players on for once, and didn't hesitate. He hesitates too much, but he didn't do that last week. Got his cross into a box into good areas, and hopefully we can see more of that from Tariq Wright again. The two midfielders are Small and Keller. They've got a really good partnership forming. Just ahead of them, it is George Lapsley. He's got 4 goals in his last 4 games for us. He's had a fantastic start to life at Bradford City. In his last couple of months, his runs that he makes into a box is a threat from crosses as well, which I don't think maybe Sarcevic has, but Lapsley definitely has a bit of a bullet header on him and gets into the right position, so he's always going to be a threat when we get that ball wide, which is something that you definitely need from your midfielders to be making those goal-scoring runs, and he's got a real knack of getting in those right positions, which sort of gives us a second sort of striker, so really impressed with him. And up front, Callum Kavanagh, so an unchanged team, because that team deserves to play again, because every single one of them played a part in one of our best performances that I've ever seen, and certainly then you're going in the last 5-10 years we were that good. Callum Kavanagh put in a real good shift up front as well, with his constant running, constant nagging of defenders, and like I said, no one deserves to lose the place after such a good performance, and anyone who says they do, then I think you're being really unfair on what has been a really good team effort from that 4-1 win against the informed team in the league. Colchester, maybe apart from ourselves, but with our 2 defeats to Tranmere and Gillingham, they were coming into it on great confidence and form, and we went and beat them 4-1, which were a huge statement. So hopefully we can make another statement, put our marker down, and beat Accrington, put us on 72 points. I'm predicting a draw, because it's just the type of game we draw. So I want everyone to leave the comments down on what outcome do you want from Walsall's next 3 games. They have to play Wimbledon at home, Doncaster away, and Port Vale at home. Now I've analysed it, and everyone's sort of saying, well, if they can get draws, but I think I either want Walsall to win all 3 or to lose all 3, because if they lose all 3, it brings them right into it, and then if they win all 3, then that's them gone, and we can just focus on the others, and they've all dropped points against that team. So let me know your thoughts. Like the video if you did, subscribe if you're new on the road to 900 subscribers. If you didn't watch the video on Monday, my video on Walsall, please do, it's massively appreciated, and fantastic editing from SHD as well during that video. It was fantastic editing, brilliant, so thanks to him, and thanks for everyone who has interacted to the video. Have a good one.